Okay. Let's get this shit underway, boys. Doing this right, doing it live. Was having issues on Twitch for whatever reason. Trying to stream. So we're swapping over to YouTube. They seem to be treating us a little better than Twitch did, so we're gonna stick with this. Right now we are in Whitechapel. We just got here. We just got done talking to an ex-military man who was shooting at someone in the street. I think it was his son who just got done stealing his medication or something along those lines. It looks like we're gonna have to do this again. Hopefully it just started us at the start here. Yeah, so this is the fella that we talked to. Let's see if we've got anything new. Okay, so we did give him the medication that did go through, so he is recovering. Benjamin Palmer is his father, and this is the last guy that we talked to, but he's got migraines. So, and that is this fella.
The wet boots will be proud. Sort of bloody joke to you, innit?
Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough accordion.
Who is this? Who are you?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow
Swanborough?
healer.
Who is that?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Oh, but hers is totally legit, huh?
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
We already knew that. We found documentation that
You
said
look
so.
ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I'm perfectly fine, thanks to my...
It's you on the other. Oh, man. Well, let's see.
I'd like
what
to
you
see
got.
what kind of...
What you got, lady? Swanborough cordial. With a list of ingredients printed in Latin. It can be recycled. Let's try it. Why not? It's 35. We only sell one. Might as well, huh? So just to cover all of our bases. Is this another dead guy? This is another dead guy. Okay. Okay, so we came in this way. Okay. You might as well get the hideout that's right here. Go up here and here.
I cannot enter.
Oh, we can't get the hideout that's right here. Never mind. Oh, it was worth a try. I guess we should just continue with the mission. I guess.
As long as you have the money. When science failed you, this
Oh, here's Mr. Bates.
Who distribute flowers?
Good evening, sir. Do you remember me?
If you're here for a reward, you'll be sorely disappointed. But I'll gladly shake the hand of a fellow countryman.
I'm not here for a bounty. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed from the Pembroke.
A doctor? In Whitechapel? What an opportunity. My name's Bates. Cadogan Bates.
Do you require assistance?
Doctor in Whitechapel.
Not me, but your skills could help a lot of people round here. That would help my business, because I say, a live tenant's a paying tenant.
You can't argue that
I'm looking
logic.
for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Scal isn't
Dorothy
going to really pay
Crane,
too often,
bless
huh?
her soul. I really should thank her someday.
Has she treated you?
No. When I need a checkup, I'd go to a bloody doctor, not some back alley clinic full of sick foreigners.
Man, this guy is like crazy
Since I took an
xenophobic.
oath to help people, can I be of assistance?
Well, seen better days, that's for sure. But it was bound to happen with all these refugees about.
Infecting you is probably the last thing on these people's minds.
I don't want to help
Take
him, but
this
like I
in any
feel like I
case.
should.
What? You give me this for free? Don't have a clue about this place, do you?
You seem to have recovered well since your attack. Do you ever think about what happened to you?
Not much. It was a fucking nightmare. Savages, absolute bloody savages. Their appearance. Jesus. It made me want to puke.
You'd better not come back here. I won't be around next time to save you. I want to know everything about the recent violence, Cadogan. And I want the truth.
Well, rent may be a bit high, and yeah, I've had to evict a few people. But that's business, isn't it?
Sir, I wish I had found you a few nights later than I did. Or maybe never at all. Death would have been a well-deserved punishment for your villainy.
Yeah, but you saved me, didn't you? And you'd do it again, because you're a decent chap. Just know I'm not.
Take this as my final warning. You will not profit from the misery of others. Business is
That's
one
fucked
thing,
up.
but what you do is quite another.
Really? What you gonna do? You ain't from here. You ain't Whitechapel, Doctor. You wouldn't know the first thing about playing dirty, even if you wanted to.
Oh, is that right? Because I feed on you in a minute, bro.
What help could I possibly be to your business?
That's simple. I already get good money from all those fleeing the war. Can you imagine what they'd be willing to pay if I could offer medical assistance too?
Mr. Bates, do not make me regret saving your life in this quarantine zone.
I understand, Dr. Reed, you're from a good family. Don't want to get your hands dirty. That's fine. I'll be happy to act as your middleman.
I'm no saint, but to take advantage as you do, you are a despicable man who could only prosper in these dark times.
So it's a no then. That's too bad. The Reed tonic could have really helped people, you know, save lives. Isn't that what you do? I mean, people buy that Swambra shit.
Tell me, what's your honest opinion of the
I love his
increasing
hat, though. I love the
violence in
bowler
London?
hat.
People are just beginning to discover what we've
classy.
always known. This city's rotten to the core. They just took their bloody time to wake up and notice it.
What do you mean?
People are acting like the violence is news. But it's always been savage down here. It just bubbles to the surface every now and again.
What is your business exactly?
I offer fair lodgings for a modest price to the poor and weary of Whitechapel.
I see. And what about those who cannot pay?
Well, deals can be done, if you know what I mean. Money's not the only currency. After all, I'm not immune to a pretty face.
In other words, you take advantage of these poor lost souls.
Begging your pardon, I thought you was a man who could appreciate the complexity of the modern world.
The
Things ain't just
complexity
black and white,
of
you
the
know.
modern world. Motherfucker, what
It's
do you
unusual
mean?
to see someone so happy around here,
That's so messed up.
especially considering the current situation.
Come on, man.
Why should I be sad now? There've always been wars, disease, tragedy. There always will be.
That's an unusual way of seeing things in these trying times.
I don't see why I should shed a tear for another man's woes. I'm healthy, and I intend to stay so.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. She's a nurse. What can you tell me about her?
Dorothy Crane.
Tell me truthfully, why are you so thankful?
By keeping my tenants alive, she's making me a rich man. Every month they live, it's more coin in my pocket.
Cadigan sees Crane's dispensary as a fine thing since she keeps his tenants in good health. That might honestly be the first person that I feed on. He has no social circle. The guy is just a fucking degenerate. And it's 1,000 XP right off the bat. So once he becomes healthy conditioning him, there's a good chance I might just feed on him directly.
Goodbye, Mr. Bates.
We haven't fed on anyone yet. Not a single person. But this guy is making a good case for himself right now, I'll tell you what. He's inside.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Journalist?
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Sorry. Opening some cookies.
Yes.
Would be our little
I
secret.
saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must... Talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned. There's nobody here.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr.
Man.
Reed.
That's,
I would like
that's
to
rough.
ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes. Those bloody immigrants should know their place, eh? How dare they do a better job than the lazy natives of this land?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Joe extortions put Barrett Lewis in a financial situation. Huh.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Interesting.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Huh. Well.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Can I offer you?
The name is...
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is
Name's
supposed
Colossus
to
Joe. I
Dorothy
don't
Crane.
get sick.
Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Wow.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town.
That's a shitty part of town. What
Why
kind of
is
question
that?
is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
For the dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Showing Barrett. Oh, same thing.
Goodbye. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay then. Come on in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
I don't even know who this guy's dad is. It's the Peterson's house, so it's... I have no idea. If you ever suspect someone to be a vampire, don't try to kill it yourself. You have no chance. Instead, contact me or try to inform a professional vampire killer. These men and women are rare, but they know what to do against these evil creatures. It even seems that some of them are working together in the name of the Guard of Priwen, a paramilitary organization dedicated to the eradication of the vampires in London. They are your friends. You are not alone. Solutions exist. Be smart. Spread the word. Clarence Crosby.
It's locked, all right. So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your...
Frail constitution, often sick. Ah, so Joe is his dad.
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Did not want to live in Whitechapel in the first place.
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
It's a rough
why
time,
you stay
man.
at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Yo, this guy has some. He's got some actual issues.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
That's some fucked up logic.
Goodbye, young.
Some real fucked up
Is there
logic.
only pain and suffering in this world?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few
Prostitute?
questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Nice.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed. Or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can
Rough,
put your own
dude.
life
Rough
in danger. That's
fucking
your decision.
life.
But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Well, I mean, I can't
Tell
really
me
argue
about
with that.
yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war.
Sorry, guys. Just turning things down a little bit.
Exile and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been
Hopefully
refused
that's a little
many
better.
jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
So, she couldn't find any decent job because she was a migrant.
I'm sure you could have found another job, perhaps less lucrative. Maybe you should try again.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Lady, I feel your pain.
Do you need any assistance?
It depends.
I am shocked that you would think I am that sort of man.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, miss.
Come on, lady, I'm here to help. So, we got migraine medication. Mr. Peterson is fatigued. Covering. Petresco has bronchitis. I can't talk to him, though. Not yet. So let me talk to this fella.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So,
I'm not bothered.
do you need any...
Yes, I do.
Oh, I need to
Good.
find a workbench.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
Okay, let's see. If I go this way.
It's locked.
What do you mean it's locked? That's supposed to be my workbench. Maybe if I just keep going with the quest line or something, one will show up. Where are these people?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Good for this guy.
That's quite
really
honorable.
standing up what he's doing.
But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Huh.
Do you need a...
That would be nice of you, Doctor.
I will see...
I need to make so much fatigue medicine.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends.
That
or
may
family.
backfire.
He
When I
has no
just
relatives
said
at
to
all?
this
No.
guy.
Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr.
Excuse me.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan
Good
Reed,
thing I'm immortal.
and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
She was a Clandestine resistance in her homeland, which was Romania.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to
I'll humor the guy. I
so-called
mean, he seems pretty
As
hell-bent
a
on...
doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is
on
just the
spreading
beginning
his word.
of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Excuse me, oh man.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Jesus!
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. Wow. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
He believes that Vicar of St. Mary's Church, Joseph Larrabee, is preaching a false faith. Of course he does. He's a...
What do you mean
when
you
preaching
say
his
that
own
I'm
faith?
More lost than you thought?
All scientists are into
quite a...
But you...
I am. But the answers are... Have you any friends? Any family
This guy is
left
like
in
quite
these
the radical.
Terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
It's a rad
I
Bible
sent
quote.
Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
That's fucked up.
I have heard
Your
enough.
boy's gonna die.
Judges your words and actions.
What the fuck, dude? So I really didn't expect to have 3 of them there. I only saw the one. So that kind of caught me off guard there, I'll be honest. Influenza quarantine. Influenza and pneumonia. Our guy. Search.
Made flesh, I tell you.
So this is our cemetery.
Just disease, desertion, and despair.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Nice.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it.
Oh, that is the mute florist.
She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid.
Richard sees Camellia as his muse and a locked mystery.
Need to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let...
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern,
The
sir.
nutrition of my mind. I like
Are you
that.
aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
There's someone in the background, like, under a medical checkup. See, there they go. They're pacing back and forth back there, and it's throwing me off, because I just see it in the corner of my fucking eye.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
Can't argue that logic.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave.
That's so
You
morbid.
have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place is not...
May
Yeah, I
I
already
ask
asked
you a
him
few
about
questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you if I can.
Oh. Dorothy Crane.
I'm looking for
what do you got
Dorothy
to
Crane,
say, buddy?
a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
No way.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you a...
Dear Mr. Nithercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs from the Defeated City, which we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand the full publication or none of your work, I'm sorry to announce you that Sycophant Publishing chose the second option. With kindest regards, A.G. Morse. Richard has never succeeded in poetry. Can I talk to him about that?
Good evening.
And good evening.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
That's so sad. He feels guilty about depending on his parents' financial support.
I'll leave you a...
It's so sad. We'll leave you alone, buddy. You're having a hard enough time. Oh, that is the mute florist, Camellia. His muse, if you will.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed.
She's mute.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
This is going to be a pretty one-way conversation.
I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. Tell me about Richard Nithercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well.
All right. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Interesting. Look at you. Another one.
Hello again, Miss. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me... a stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
She's mute. How is she going to tell you anything? This is the worst at that end. Darius Petrescu's letter. I'm so sorry you have not heard from me in a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. This probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifices we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Wait a little bit. Yes, we'll wait a little bit on that. Fatigue, bronchitis, migraine, fatigue. We really need to go and find a bunch of shit. Just north of the hospital. Okay, what about this one? Oh, that's not far. We can do that. Okay, let's see if we can spot anyone else. Is there really nothing up here? Really? He's fatigued. That's the prostitute. Keep hearing someone cough. Making that up, right? Yeah, I'm going the wrong direction. Let me make sure I can't go up in. I can't go up there. Okay. Alright. Well, let's just go towards the objective, because we we haven't been that way yet. So maybe we'll find the last, the last people to interact with over here. Yeah, and there are some people. A rookie and exterminator.
You my fucking beast! I want some of this!
Try and get rid of this guy quickly.
You'll pay for that!
And then let's try and get rid of this one.
Bloody leech!
Is he throwing like gas grenades or something? Yeah, he is. Fucking A. I hate fighting these things. I really do. Always such a pain to fight. That one really wasn't too bad, but we kind of had him like stun locked in a corner. It's like previous ones have just been such assholes. Is that one-handed? Yes, it is one-handed. Nice to find new weapons, though. I want to find more two-hand weapons. Like, I want to upgrade, you know, like, weapons more and stuff, and, like, really get into the... Ooh, what's up here?
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside.
Let's see. We got a letter inside. What do we got here? Probably quest items. Small box. Barrett. There is no easy way to say it, so I'm just going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it would crush him. Then he will kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time. Then the most important part of our story will have to be preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me. Goodbye.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Oh, that's fucked up. I gotta give it to Joe. I know it's not a good thing, and Mr. Barrett is gonna get the shit kicked out of him, but I have to give it to Joe. I have to. So I know if I was in that situation and someone was messing around. Oh shit. If my girlfriend was going behind my back and messing around with my best friend, if someone found some evidence of that, I would like to be informed. And I know that guy is going to have a bad time, but he shouldn't have been fucking around with the dude's wife. And that's not to say that she's, you know... That's not to say that she's innocent in the whole thing. You know, obviously she's not. But, I mean, if it's the dude's, like, it's the dude's best friend. Or so they thought. You know. I mean, he should respect them enough to not do that, you know. So I'm definitely gonna give that to the bully, the Colossus, as they so call him. Just because, like, no one, you know, dude might be a piece of shit, but no one deserves that. Let's not go there yet. Where does this bring me? Not going there yet either. We'll stick to one area at a time because this this map is actually it's actually fairly large considering you know, there's enclosed areas, there's inside the buildings, and just take care of this guy first. Oh, that worked. Oh, we already went that way. That's where we started. Okay, so we are just about done with this. We're gonna give the box, like I said, to Joe Peterson. I think that's only fair.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on.
I know the guy's, he's a
What do you
piece
want
of
me to
shit,
do?
but
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really?
I can't just
Where'd you
let
get
him
it? I
hide
found
this.
it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Ah, letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Huh.
Goodbye.
Maybe I read those wrong. Okay. I was under the impression his wife was cheating on him. That guy didn't give a single fuck. Okay. Oh, wrong one. So, we've got the Holy Crusade. These are all finished. So we'll have to do that one eventually, but maybe we'll do this first, and then hopefully this will bring us back to
Mr. Petrescu,
the
just
hospital.
1 minute, please. You again. Go away.
Oh, man.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Good man. So we are still part of the Whitechapel district, which is in a serious condition. First, I'm gonna rob him. Not a big deal. Many of my journeys, I believe I was most amazed by exploration of the Mediterranean Isles, and particularly the island of Santorini. Searching for traces of vampire presence in these sunburnt lands, Herodotus himself refers to the island in his 4th book, and I'm personally convinced that there are many mysteries to be unveiled in this part of the world. Who knows that, even today, the island of Santorini is still considered by some as the most vampire-infested place of the world, way more than the Carpathians, and that its inhabitants are considered as specialists of the vampire hunt, or the hunt for Vrykolikas, as they call this creature. According to local myths, the Vrykolikas is a dead person who does not decay and who can show a vermilion complexion as long as he is gorged with fresh blood. He cannot enter a house without knocking and getting a response. Garlic makes him flee. He does not consume under the sun, but his skin blackens. He can change into wolf and other animals. What struck me the most is that the same name exists with small variations from Mediterranean Sea to the Balkans. The Greeks call him the Viroclacus. The Bulgarians and the Macedonians call him Varkolak or Varkolok. The Serbians call him Vukadlak. Yes, Vukadlak. A name so similar to Volkad we already know, my dear brothers. Just to write the few words now gives me shivers. I'm personally convinced that we are here confronted to some of proto-vampire. Maybe they are a missing link between the modern vampires and the creatures that came before them. If God allows me enough time, I wish one day to go back to the Santorini Islands and follow the trail of this antique and forgotten figure. From drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul.
It's locked.
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Prochaska?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really?
This guy's got some serious conviction.
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Everybody just fucking hates on that guy.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed.
Too real for me, IRL.
I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Dude, it's so depressing.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Goodbye.
Well, the guy is definitely, he's got some drive. I'll give it to him. Just wanted to unlock that. We're not going to go that way yet, but... I think those doors only open from one side, so it's good to do it now, just to get it done. But before we go in here, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go use the bathroom, so don't go anywhere. Right. All right, let's see what Dorothy's up to. Like how we can just go around and fucking loot whatever. No consequence. Just going at it. My dear Dorothea, when you read this letter, I will be on a boat that will take Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I'll promise I'll light a candle in the Black Church and pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. I know that you do not agree with this decision and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrades exiled in the East End, but Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and to see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband, and I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you would have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage this clinic of yours, but now that I'm leaving England, be assured that if anything would happen to you, if you were ever in great trouble or danger, I would come back immediately to London with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as I think of you. I am your affectionate sister, Theodora. Okay, she gives away drugs and medicine for free. She was a Clandestine resistant, and she's a sister. that's everything.
I need help.
Shut up, lady. Be alright.
He's going into convulsion.
What do we have here,
You'll
nurse?
be alright.
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
What the
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
It's like the guy's gonna die if we don't do it. So it's like there's no reason
He's still
not
bleeding,
to.
Doctor.
As fucked up
I'm
as
losing
it
his
sounds.
pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
I have no idea.
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along?
I don't know. That was not the right decision. No! Fuck. Fuck.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I figured like trying to cardiac I assumed that was like,
I doubt you're here to test my bedside
you know, where you
manners.
do the you know, pumping the chest and shit, because it's not like it's not like she's got the zappers or whatever that they use.
It's locked, all right.
This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Dr. Reed. You shouldn't be here. I
Fucking
suspect
A,
it
man.
was more than intuition alone that
What
led
the
you to us.
fuck?
So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
Not necessarily, okay? You could have brought him to the hospital and then served as a translator, you fuck.
But why Lady Ashbury?
If you're gonna be working at this
Why
time
her of all
anyways.
people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
No.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
So I didn't embrace her for two reasons. One, she's a pillar of the community, and two, Lady Ashbury asked me specifically to complete this without embracing or without feeding on the person responsible. What the fuck?
Murdering bastard! Watch it! It's a
Bitch!
They crushed the leaf! The leech has Fuck, he's dead!
All right.
Hello, Mr. Petrescu.
Hello.
Where did those guys come from? This dude's still here?
Yes?
Goodbye.
What the fuck? Guy's just hanging out. Oh my. Okay, I need to figure out what the fuck is going on with this hideout.
It's locked, all right.
So the Whitechapel hideout is locked. So where is... He's over here. I don't know if I've been that way yet, to be completely honest. I don't think we have been.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Yeah, I'll let them deal with that. I need, like, tons of these. 6 should probably be enough. Let me make another one. Literally just a single glass vial. That's all I get out of it. Wow. I'm so disappointed. So, just so this area does not, like, fucking die or go into some crazy critical condition. Fatigue, migraine. I don't have migraine yet. Bronchitis. I do have one. So I got some fatigues I need to get to these people.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need it?
That would be nice.
If you persist.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
I believe the sun. Yes, fatigue.
We know each other. We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake. I prefer not to give you another.
Good evening, Harry.
Sure. Is there only pain?
We'll give this guy some stuff too.
So,
I'm not Bob.
do you need...
Yes, I do.
I'm not.
Goodbye.
Is there only pain and suffering?
Let's see, who else? I think that's it. Besides Mr. Travis. I believe is this house?
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Yes. I give him his bronchitis medication. Where'd you go, buddy? Here.
Yes?
Do you need...
I am very tired.
Well, I think you do.
Free drugs from an English doctor.
Goodbye.
Okay. So that should help, that should help a lot, hopefully. So that's like 4 or 5 people.
is despicable.
This is despicable.
Kill him, boy! Stop! Burn his ass!
Fucking A. This guy is like super weak in that shit.
Crush the leech, boys! Die, vermin! Crush the leech, boys!
That really wasn't all that bad. That was an easy fight, considering. There's literally nothing I can loot from all of that just happened. There's not a single thing I can loot. What the fuck? Wow. Wow. I'm sitting on 3100 XP though. That's pretty fucking solid. You know what? Why don't I wait? I'm gonna go talk to Lady Ashbury. The reason I'm gonna wait is because this is a main story quest. So my goal is hopefully I get a good chunk of fucking XP from this.
If only there were more.
Man, she's not too discreet about that.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
No need to apologize, my lady. I know exactly what you endure.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Good on him.
That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters.
Don't you think I should
Prepared and
go
well-trained.
to somewhere a little more discreet?
Though I can't be certain.
There's people right outside the
More than
tent,
likely,
and we're
it was
sitting
the
with a
once
dead guy who was
glorious
just fed
guard
upon.
of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
Like,
they have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seems they have been recruiting.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
wow. So it's like premeditated.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years.
Which it
This
should be.
isn't
I mean,
the
if you're
city I
trying to
remember.
fit in.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
Something far worse than the Spanish flu. Okay. I need to grab another beer for this because this shit is like starting to ramp up. So I'll be right back.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
Interesting.
What type of vampire is a Scowl?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
Okay.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
Goofy.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
Oh.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make.
Yeah, if they have to drink your
by
blood,
someone.
then, I mean, I don't know how you can accidentally drink someone else's blood.
Talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
Why?
Excuse my forwardness.
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires.
Yeah, there's
But
also
all
Skal
vampires are
and
not
possibly
Ekon.
others.
We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
I bid you farewell. For now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
I have yet to feed. Boys and girls, we might be able to do this without feeding. There's a chance. There is a chance. Increase stamina regeneration by 50%. Oh, boy. That's what I like to hear. I could give a shit about that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna craft some
Razvan Vasily was
regen.
infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Chapter 3. Okay. Cause and effects. Learn more about the vampire epidemic. I'm gonna rest. I think this is a good time to do so. We're gonna... Oh, we can get an ultimate! Focus your power to boil your target's blood, causing it to violently explode, dealing damage to the target and anything nearby. Create a shadow vortex at your target's feet. Coming to life, they interrupt the enemy at the area and inflict tremendous damage. You lose control. Let the beast take over for a short time. The beast teleports itself to all enemies around you and strikes them with furious blows. We're actually going to go with Abyss, I think. I think we're going to go to Abyss. The reason for that is we've got Blood Spear on our quick attack, and we also have our melee that we're focusing on. So we're gonna get Abyss here, which costs 1,000. We could actually get level 2 of that immediately, almost. I guess we can't, but we're gonna level up Blood Spear. Because we use this a lot. Flat damage increase is nice. Cost is lowered. Recovery is the same, but it's only 3 seconds, so that's okay. 3 small blood spears, which can hit all enemies facing you compared to the base ability. Range and individual damage is decreased. Okay, so that does... Well, if it pierces, we can manipulate where people are standing. I think this is not necessary. This is more of a shotgun blast. It's only 50 damage reduced, though. You throw... Okay. You throw a large blood spear which can pass through enemies in front of you. The massive projectile will deal greater damage than before. I mean, we're talking 15 or 50 damage increase, which I don't know. I don't really like either one of those. We're gonna reset. We're gonna try something new. So why don't we do Shadow Mist instead of Blood Spear? We're gonna up Bite a handful of times. Stamina, we're gonna upgrade like 3 times. I mean, it's just a straight up double damage. That's the biggest increase that we're gonna see, at least for now. These are pretty large jumps too. So let's we'll get our bonus. So this time we're gonna go with Blood Cauldron. So the idea is, I actually really like the Shadow Mist upgrades over the Blood Spear upgrades. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens here. And just to even things out, we're gonna go Blood Cauldron. So this is gonna be a nice little AoE damage as an ultimate ability. We're gonna get 1 damage back in Spring. I do like this ability, so we're gonna get level 1 in that. We got 2,300 left. We're actually gonna go for Autophagy 2, which we didn't have before. And then we're going to get a couple upgrades in healing. We're going to get 2 in that. And then toss the last bit into here. And I think that's as good as we're going to get. And we'll confirm there. So, we've changed our build a little. Disappearances in White Door. What? Reports of mysterious appearances have escalated in the past week. It has reached a point where witnesses have to queue before recounting their testimonies to an officer. Although this phenomenon appears to be a nationwide occurrence, the statements of the last 24 hours have converged around a single area of the country, Whitechapel, London. Yes, once more the despised and loathed East End is left to struggle on its own, continuously overlooked by the authorities, even while numerous families in this district report to the unexplained disappearances of relatives and neighbors. What has happened to these missing individuals? Where are they? The only link between them seems to be their health and their need for urgent medical attention. Until recently, it was a local secret that the only good place to get help was a discreet dispensary managed by unidentified Good Samaritans. But the place now seems to be closed and no one has any news from the facility. Did the missing persons go to a more secret place? Have they been discreetly moved to a new official service? One day soon, the London City Council's Board of Health will have to answer for this new mystery. Wait, what? What? How was she what? Oh my. I did my charm shit, man. I charmed her. What the fuck? So she's got Pippa's got a cold. He's got a cold. He's got a headache. I still need to find that. I don't have the headache stuff yet. Where did she go? How is she missing? Let me make a couple extra cold medicines. Make 3.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Oh, Lord. So, Pippa and Newton. We're trying to keep different areas all good and, you know, solid. Okay. Which I think is fair.
Too much energy for so little result.
You are Pippa.
Good evening, Nurse Hall.
Good evening.
Do you need med?
I'm afraid I've contracted.
Not under my watch, Nurse.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Who was the other one? There's two. Newton.
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off this time.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical?
Afraid so. In the war, I was
Actually, I
always worried
really
about
like
picking
this
up
guy.
something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created
Hey,
by
biological
man.
warfare is nothing to fuck around about.
To be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason
Nothing
for
to
me and
fuck around
Oswald to
about.
go there.
Goodbye, Miss.
Okay.
Is this supposed to be an hospital?
Hey, you shut up. That's so inappropriate, Mr. Clayton. We have given you the service that you require. All right, Mr. Swansea, what you got for me, bud? Oh, I haven't looted you yet, huh? What you got, man? Where your goodies hidden at? Gotta. Oh yeah, here we go. Letter of Rakash Chadana. Dear Dr. Swansea, I'm glad to manage the temporary morgue as soon as it's opened. As I've already told you, I was a doctor during the war, and I will glad to serve my country again. I know it's not the same as being a physician for the dead as it is for the living, but I believe it is important to welcome and take good care of our departed too. Rest assured, I will do my best to fully perform this new duty to the best of my abilities. Concerning the question of my qualifications, I'm sorry I cannot give you anything more valuable than my parole. I swear to you that my regiment made me a doctor during the war and that I saved many lives. If my word is not enough, you can contact the military administration to verify my experience and skills. They will confirm that even if I never followed any medical studies, the war taught me what a doctor really needs to know. Has been appointed as a medic by mistake? All right. Dear Dr. Swansea, I must inform you of my deepest reservations concerning the Dr. Throw Strickland and Harvey Fiddick case. Mr. Fiddick has been hospitalized after a severe work injury. He may permanently lose the use of his arm if not treated adequately. Dr. Strickland claims that a surgical procedure may save the man's arm completely. I say it may also sever its functions for good if complications arise. Our young colleague is an audacious and daring surgeon who might prove a good professional in a few years, but for now he lacks the skills to perform such a risky procedure. Need I remind you of the mistakes he made in the past? Since Dr. Strickland refuses to listen to me, I strongly advise you to forbid him to perform such a hazardous experiment. His medical skills have been questioned in the past. I mean, I think just like anybody should have, you know, if you're a doctor. Especially if you're doing, like, questionable stuff, you know. As a scholar and exegent of ancestral writings, I would never insist enough about the importance of taking legends. Excuse me. I would never insist enough about the importance of taking legends and ancient folklores into account when searching for hints about hidden or lost secrets. A common mistake is to take what we know for an established truth and use it to discard any contradictory material. For example, we must consider the possibility of undiscovered species of vampires and the necessity to rethink what we see as the established truth about various types of immortals, based on what we know and what we gathered through time. For how many centuries did we consider the vampire was the vernacular term for what we learned to call Ekin, until the day 4 explorers of the Brotherhood found proof in Siberia that Volkods were a lupine type of vampire. We considered these creatures to be linked to the mythological werewolf. Now we know it's not true. What about the rest? What about the Rakshasa from my homeland? What about Chinese Jingxi or the Puchun of southern Chile? I am just butchering the fuck out of these pronunciations. I already know it. And without even leaving the beautiful Great Britain, what about the stories about bat-shaped women sometimes seen flying around St. James Church in Louth? What about the creature only identified as a disaster in some obscure testimonies, which tried to destroy London in 1666, by spreading plague all around the city. 666, the mark of the devil. I see what you did there. What about the Nimrod, the mythical figure of the restless vampire hunter, sometimes described by ancestral British Ekans as a legendary huntsman who only feeds on the prey's blood and could go unnoticed amongst mortals and immortals? I tell you, my brothers, we can never be too sure of what we can find. If only we could forget for a few minutes what we're supposed to already know. From Unveiling the Night by Usher Taltree, Primate of St. Paul. That's the second one we found by him. Usher Taltree. That is the second writing that we found by him.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak. But I have something important to tell you.
No, you don't.
This strain of flu. It's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I never saw symptoms like this when I was in France. Not at all.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
A weapon of choice?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
Does he mean turn everyone into an immortal?
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
Oh.
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
Oh, man. Attend Mary's funeral. All right. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, we actually got a new weapon. How much? What does this do? 130? This is what we gotta use to bludgeon. Which is, yeah, we'll see what we've got. I thought it was a two-hand
I never
weapon.
thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Oh, so our mission is at the same location. Okay. Well, that's convenient at least. Rats normally designate a hideout, right? That's what they said. The way I need to go. I like this though, this is kind of a cool little shortcut. That's the way I need to go, over there. But, I really don't mind fighting these guys. Yeah, I like this a lot. Don't get me wrong, Blood Spear is good. I think the little cloud thing is going to be just fine.
It's locked.
Better go home, sir. Don't come closer!
Appreciate your concern, my dude, but that's okay. I really like this improved stamina, because it's like, I can honestly just fucking glide around fights, and I don't have to worry about anything. Let's go check over here for a second, because this looks like a dead end, so maybe we can find some stuff.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
Well, I think definitely should try to find Samuel the Disciple before we continue. Where does that lead? Back over that way. I'm not gonna go over there. I think that would be good to explore, but I don't want to be in a situation like we were in earlier where we jump to a location and then can't jump back. Did that not hit? That should have just killed the one. How the fuck are they holding a funeral with all of these guys here? Did so much damage. I love it. That was a close one. Holy shit. Wow.
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know. Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Xiaoxun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
Who are you? Lost? Just some random woman? Alright.
Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among the bodies, I wonder? This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail.
pretty wicked. Yeah, this is where I was earlier.
As I feared. Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
Wanted to see what happens. Oh, it just blows up. Okay. That was really anticlimactic. I was expecting so much more. That is my ultimate ability. So it's got a delay to it. It's got a delay to it, and then it just blows up. Father Whitaker is so righteous. I gave him a full compassion and love for the suffering ones. His words are all the city needs. Tonight I give him all I have, my strength, my faith, my wealth, and if it is not enough, I know where to find more. Okay. Before I read the rest of this, I need to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Oh my, that is so much better. Okay. Father Whitaker. Oh, we read the 12th of October entry. Father Whitaker and I went to an abandoned house near St. Mary's Church. It was an awful and smelly place. Rats were disputing the rooms to the last remaining residents of the decrepit flats. Most of them are sick, awful, awful odors. On the last floor, Father Whitaker found an old man lying on a dirty mattress, coughing and spitting blood in a wooden bowl. He knelt before him and prayed a long time. The man seemed to feel better. Then we both helped him find the light. I cried then, and I cry now as I write these lines, for I have never seen a soul so relieved to be finally redeemed. Father Whitaker is a saint. If it's not so presumptuous, nor a sinful expression of pride, I wish I'll be able to save as many souls as he does, for it's a real privilege to witness such miracles. Tonight we both went to the whorehouses boarding the canal. I must admit I was very afraid to cross the path of Jezebels, but the buildings were abandoned for a long time. Whores and infections go together, explained Father Whitaker, but their customers quickly get scared when there is a mention of disease. In the last brothel, we found 2 sick women sleeping together in a sinful attitude under dirty blankets. The odor was awful. Once more the smell of Satan and of the disease, explained Father Whitaker. Before kneeling and praying for these 2 lost souls, the women were so frail and sick they were not able to move when I threw the petrol on the blankets. Their souls are now cleansed and purified. Holy fuck. They burned them alive? Father Whitaker is a saint, but I won't let anyone mock the holy man he is. He shall receive more help and support, but as all true prophets, he is alone. He needs more from his followers. He needs love, and proof of love. Tomorrow I shall go back to the cemetery and unearth more wealth for him. The dead have no need of the terrestrial goods, but we need to eat, Father Whitaker and I. Tonight, for the first time, it was my turn to lead the round. I chose to return where we went 10 days ago to see if any more souls needed to be freed. Father Whitaker approved my choice since the good man's work is never finished and Satan never sleeps, he explained. He also said, if I keep showing so much zeal, he may soon give me more important missions and tasks. I can't wait. 3 more souls have been cleansed from any corruption. Tonight, if it's not presumptuous nor a sinful expression of pride, I dare say we are on a path to greatness. That.
I have this thirst for blood.
That is so fucked. Them going around burning people alive. Like, what the actual fuck, dude? That's so messed up. How are they holding a funeral here? Like, you know how many fucking...
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
You know how many fucking, like, vampire... Well, skulls they would have to go through to get there?
Resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
That's your mother? Man, you really came up with a wealthy family. Lady's got a butler.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
I know it's Lady Ashbury.
I
You don't
thought
gotta
you could
put that
use
up
the
there.
company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a young Ekon. A newborn cast into the night without so much as a candle to guide your way.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with
How do you
this.
come to
You must
terms
learn
with
to live
killing
what
a
happened.
sibling?
How can I?
I've destroyed my family. My poor mother.
Yeah, like that's...
I can't
that's
even
so
console
hard.
her.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You've felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries, and time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Huh. How could you be religious in that kind of situation? To be completely honest, like, dude, if I was unwillingly turned into a vampire and then killed my sibling to feed my hunger, that would be the end of it right there. That'd be like, yeah, there's no God. Life is awful. You know, things suck.
Ain't safe here for a gentleman.
This one's mine!
Come on, you bastard. Just die already.
I'll kill him!
Oh, come on. There we go. It's a pillar. Got some skulls. The other one's he's a jumper. Oh, what the fuck? Wow, that was close. Really close. Take out that one. I'll hit it. I'll take a hit. That's fine. Extra blood. Oh, they got really close for a second there. Holy shit. We'll check up top in just a moment. I was gonna say, is there not even like a building or something?
Hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you at this hour. I'm a doctor inquiring about the epidemic. May I come in?
A doctor, you say? No, thank you.
All right.
Alright. Some random dude just living next to this random fucking... What the... What? Alright.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion.
Holy fuck.
Shed your skin, forget your old
There's a
weaker
monster.
self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon. Skin.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them.
What this guy?
Abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Dude's got bricks as hands. Vampire laws. Learn and abide by them, or I shall return.
Immortals try my patience, their plans and unsolicited counsel.
The power of the Lord is dead.
Sorry, Reverend, but why does that not hurt him?
Stop! Vampire!
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
I have not fed on a single person, okay? I have been trying to stay as human as possible. I don't know if that can continue. Lads, girls, boys, we may have to make some drastic decisions here in the short future. Sorry, I was just looking to see if there's more stuff. I like stuff. Alright, so we are back. The church should be... I realize that's the main entrance. We need to report to Father Whitaker for the Holy Crusade side quest, and he should be right here.
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
I have had an...
Oh, I can only enter through that door.
Yes?
What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
What a good guy. Let's see, where is he on this? It's Father Tobias Whitaker. Mason Swanborough? Oh, that's the guy that was in the building. He wouldn't let us in. I'm not seeing the father or the vicar on here though, or the vicar, however they pronounced it.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
I need to really accept the fact that this happened. But at the same time, I don't know if this would go about revealing myself as a vampire to the vicar.
She has been laid to rest. That's all you need to know.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
What a good man.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Why are you angry? Wait, why are we angry about that? We literally went to a church to pray for forgiveness, and now you're mad that God was involved. That's... that's not what I expected. We're gonna check out this event, though. I believe the event is Nurse Crane is now missing. And we saw that as shown here for the major event. And the fact that it says missing when we look at her, so. We're gonna come and check this out, and see what's going on. Man, really? Did she get turned into a skull? Is that her? Like, we can hear her upstairs, right? That's not just me. Oh, I mistimed my counter. That's okay. No. She got turned. Oh, I picked the wrong decision. She's level 24 though, and we're level 13. Wow, I really fucked this up, huh? Mr. Petrov is... he's gone too. Man. Unlucky. Oh, no, he's down here. Let's talk to him. What happened, dude?
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived.
What did I even do?
Helped people.
What did I do?
Will be sorely missed.
Maybe you should consider the bigger picture.
What?
We may not have the same approach, but my priority is the safety of London's citizens.
So you put an end to the operation?
No.
Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. Then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
I fucked up. I fucked up.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
I mean, that's pretty fair.
Tell me
I do not believe in it.
Goodbye.
I might feed on this
all
guy.
around us.
I'm thinking about it.
This city is doomed.
The more I think about it, because this area is already gonna go to shit without the pillar of their community. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Petrucci.
I'm gonna do it.
Who will assist Dorothea helping our comrades now that I die?
What consequences, huh?
This is despicable.
Dorothy is already dead, okay? We'll go this way. Open this. She's also level 24.
People are talking about this Colossus. Perhaps I should.
100 shillings on a lead plate. Cool. Camellia. In silence she walks like the early queens of forgotten centuries, or of forgotten countries, where I sometimes travel through my long sleepless nights. In silence she walks, and her smiles speak for her, the ancient tongue of the Pythia, heard only by fools searching for their fate. And I know her name is as fragile as the flowers she gives, and I know her voice would nail my heart to the ground as she always passes by without answering me. So mesmerize level 3. I wonder how I level that up. Because I think Nithercott would be an easy one to get away with. He would be an easy one to get away with too, but he isn't worth much. Hold on. Tippets would honestly probably be a pretty good one to grab, but I'd probably rather just get these two because they're pieces of shit anyways.
No match for the Swanborough cordial.
I actually don't think that he was a bad guy. I don't think Pestru was a bad guy. But I also think that he was wasting his time. Okay, so when I was feeding, it completely nullified the ultimate, which is good to know. Wow, how did that work? Okay, we got two guys off right and one guy off left. We'll take out this guy first because he's range. Take out this guy second because he's easy. Nice. That worked out wonderfully. Yeah, we've been through all this stuff. That's where that level 18 guy was.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. I remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You
What is with the horns?
made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
The land?
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
What does that even mean?
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
What does that mean?
So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
What is... What? What the fuck?
Jonathan, my...
Your kindness.
Is there anything...
I spied my mother.
Fuck?
At the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking about it.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
Are we then condemned to lie to those we love?
We are creatures of deception, my friend. But this is more for their sake than ours.
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan. Present company excluded. Accept it.
I don't know what to expect. Am I cursed to an eternity of solitude?
With time, we Ekon tend to go into isolation. If we survive long enough, that is.
As a practitioner of the medical sciences, I'm prepared for the death of loved ones. But mourning in the shadows, deprived of sharing one's grief.
We are no longer a part of the circle of life and death. We are undead, my friend. And so we are outcasts.
Goodbye, my lady. Until we meet again.
So, what happened here? Hey, come on. Come on. What you doing? Hi, girlie. Okay. That's pretty fucked up.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Goodbye.
Sean Hampton, who's that? No way! No way! The pillar of the docks community. have a hard time believing that.
It never ceases to amaze me. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Cat,
Such a
what are you
pleasure
doing?
to see you again.
What are you doing?
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir. But I rose to the challenge.
What are you doing?
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't
Sorry guys, she's
improvise
sitting
a medical
directly in front of my
education.
light.
People could die
I think
at
it's
your
warm or
hands.
something.
You're absolutely right, sir. But
She's
as a field surgeon, it was
hanging
more
out.
like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
She is such a little shit. Let's see here. That's about right. Oh. Something like that, huh? It's close enough.
Do you realize how many soldiers
Hey,
died
you.
because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
It's pretty messed up, man.
Goodbye.
Let me see if I can find her body. It's not here. This guy deals with the morgue, right? The body should be here.
I cannot enter.
How do we... Dude ain't gonna be no snitch. There's no way to get that info from him.
Perhaps I should consider the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Goodbye.
Trying to find something or someone who knew anything about the recent
Good
events.
evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Instead,
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good.
not finding shit.
Good evening. Evening. Goodbye.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The
Wow.
daily routine.
I wonder why the Goswicks came here in the first place.
Good evening.
I need blood.
Crazy.
A year! You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
Oh, that's a scripted interaction. We've already seen that. Nothing new.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
What?
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan.
We have the same haircut. You can't punk me.
This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
Why you always got bad news for me, man?
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow.
Don't worry, I only
Please
feed on
Sean
scumbags
Hampton,
from
the man
Whitechapel.
we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Put an end to savagery? Oh, boy.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Alright, guys. I think with that and with the cat getting cozy, we're going to end the stream here. So we've been going live for about 3 hours. Let's see, this is wow, 3,000 just straight up. Ooh, that hurts, but I think we should do it. So, increased range and damage, or the shadows pool in a single place. Targets within the area are struck constantly, causing them to bleed. Let's try it. Worst case scenario, we don't like it and we go another route. Increases bite damage. Why not? Let's try it. And we'll do that. So I think we're gonna end it here, guys. We'll check out what kind of events transpired overnight. Because it seems like every night there's some crazy shit going on. Yeah, we kind of killed that guy. So we God, this is rough. We really fucked up with Dorothy. So yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna end it here. Nothing too crazy happened overnight, which is a good thing. So we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, look at this. Convince her to go back to Whitechapel? Where is she? Is she still in the cemetery? Why is she still in the cemetery? Okay. Anyways. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Be sure to tune back in. We'll be right back where we left off. Have a good one.